Leon Navas. So I welcome each and every one of us to today's session. And before maybe we continue, I don't know whether Fred joined us or Dr. Madiva. I can see Songok in the meeting. Can you confirm for us if any of the above have joined the meeting so that they can give us an opening remarks, please?
Hi, good afternoon, all. So my name is Scope. I'm not certain whether Faith and Madiva have joined, because I've just joined also. But I'm thinking because of time, we can proceed. Once they join or once we confirm they're in, we can give them an opportunity to make their remarks. Yeah. So, Ogutu, let me reach out to them because I scrolled down and I couldn't see any one of them. But we can proceed and then I'll reach out to them. Yeah.
It's okay. Thank you so much for that, Franklin. Cosmas, can you hear me?
Yes, Ogutu.
You are ready? So as Cosmas is preparing to share his screen, just an overview of today's session. The session will be looking at the integration of Ushauri into KenyaEMR that will make it a lot easier to interoperate the platform, the two platforms, that is Ushauri and KenyaEMR, in that they'll be working seamlessly without need for any middleware. We'll not be having IL as a middleware for the two systems. I'm seeing Cosmas is ready. So Cosmas, kindly take it away.
Thanks, Ogutu. And again, I welcome you all to just to take you through the KenyaEMR and Ushauri module. And we'll just do a quick presentation on this one, and then I'll invite my colleague Leon to take us through now the actual demo. So let me just start by probably just saying what is the main goal. Why did we decide to come up with this specific feature? So as you know, we have Ushauri, that is an appointment and SMS reminder system. And we, of course, have KenyaEMR that does a lot of the clinical work in terms of patient management. So we wanted to be able to ensure that whenever patients are being managed for their clinical visits, they can also get reminders for their next visits when they're coming. So the objective of the Ushauri KenyaEMR module is quite simple, quite straightforward. We aim to, of course, provide an exchange between the two platforms on patient data. And the data that is going to be exchanged or included in this will be basically the registration information data, registration update in case there's any update on the registration information. So if you change the patient name, for example, their mobile number maybe, or any information that is important, it should be able to also be exchanged. Then, of course, also another data set that is being exchanged is the patient consent and appointment data. So this slide just shows us in terms of the current a screenshot, but of course, Leon will be able to take us through a little bit in depth in terms of the process of how to set it up then from the setup, how now the application is able to interact with each other to exchange data. So again, there's the seamless data exchange between KenyaEMR and Ushauri. And of course, now this one, of course, reduces the workload in terms of you having to pick the same client data, then of course enter it into Ushauri, or having to pick the same client data, then of course also exporting it into Ushauri. So this one makes it easy just to be able to, the two systems are exchanging data without having any issues. Then of course also it supports the ease and use of, we leverage on some features already also in Ushauri in terms of the SMS reminder. So that allows that communication and that exchange to happen without having any issues. So if a client has consented on the KenyaEMR and the appointment data has been pushed to Ushauri, of course, Ushauri will pick it up from there, and now they'll get the automated reminder messages before the appointment. So that is one of the things that is very key in terms of this Ushauri KenyaEMR module. So what is the workflow that we have currently? Then there is just to explain in terms of the nitty-gritties. So we have, of course, the data capture, which happens on the KenyaEMR platform. And again, this is persisted in database. And of course, then once this is done, so such the tasks for registration and clinical visits, for example, within the green card, are pushed to the Ushauri platform. Then, of course, change of data capture, again, like I've said, in case of any updates that happen from KenyaEMR on patient registration, this data, again, is still pushed to Ushauri, and then it is retrieved and updated for processing within the Ushauri platform. Then, of course, now also we will look at in terms of error queuing description, where now, of course, you can be able to view if any of that data exchange has failed. What was the reason? Is it issues of CCC number? Is it an issue of mobile number? So you'll be able to just have an overview of exactly what is happening. And that was the screen that I had shown a little bit earlier. So with that, I think my showcase was short and timely. So we will get into a session of demo, but before that, we can take some couple of questions. Ogutu.
Yes, in any case you have an input or any question, you can always use our reactions feature in Teams. You can just raise up your hand, or you can type in chat to be able to pick it up from there. Any questions so far? It seems there's none. We can continue. If there's any, you can always use the chat feature, or you can raise up your hand so that you can implement the link.
So the question.
No questions so far. Let me check.
Right. So let me just share my screen and then.
So good.
I've seen a chat from Nyanaro.
Afternoon, guys. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you. So I'm just going to go directly to, thank you, Cosmas, for that. I'm just going to go directly into the showcase. Just a minute as I share my screen.
Meanwhile, Solomon Nyanaro is asking what information is sent to Ushauri. It will be great to know. Cosmas, you can reply to that.
So quickly, the information that we're currently sharing is registration data on the client. Then, of course, also if the registration details also change, again, that also is still shared to Ushauri. And then, of course, we are sharing the client appointment of the clinic of parts.
Yeah, I think that is clear. You can see my screen now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to take you through the Ushauri, KenyaEMR Ushauri module. So basically, when you log into KenyaEMR, this is the screen that you see. And if you go to home, we have a list of the applications. So I'm going to divide this into two parts. We have the setup part, the configuration, like once you get the module, what next do you need to do to set it up? And we are also going to show you the UI, how you interact with it on the user interface. So yeah, so once you log into KenyaEMR and you have the module, this is how basically the apps look like. This is the KenyaEMR home landing page. And many of you, assuming you have not seen this, we have some two extra apps here. We have the MLab service and the Ushauri service. And for today, we are just going to concentrate on the Ushauri service. So when you click on the Ushauri service, this is the page that lands you in. So basically here, it gives you a summary of the appointments. So how this works is that when you send data from when you, for instance, at the facility level, you give a client an appointment. The appointment you should be able to see the appointments and registrations queued in this page. And once they are sent, you should be able to get a message here that the appointments or the registrations have been sent. And if there is any error, you should be able to see the error. You might get an error that might occur while you're trying to send the information. And the error, we also have a tab for the error queue. So one of the things to note is that for this messaging to happen at the facility level, you need to have internet connected to the EMR server, because the message is moving directly from the EMR at the facility level to the Ushauri, which is based in the cloud. So, and this is for sites that are using EMR for Ushauri. We have also sites that have the mobile application. They use the mobile application for capturing appointments data and registration data for clients on Ushauri. So I'll just go through the tabs. We have the outgoing queue. So basically, this will be a list. As you can see, we will see this practically. This is it is like a table with 5 columns. We have the patient identifier, the patient's name, the message type, the visit or appointment date, and the dates created. So this is the queue, the outgoing queue, whereby if you do an appointment, before it leaves KenyaEMR, it will be queued here and you can be able to see the queue. The next tab is for the sent messages. This is now, once a message has gone, when I talk about messages, the information about the client, that is the appointment dates, their demographics, and their the registration. Once it has gone, you'll have a list of the sent messages. It's for instance, if you're doing the same as the email, if you do an email and you sent it, you'll see that it has gone to sent messages. So the information will move from the outgoing queue to the sent messages once a message has been sent. Finally, we have the error queue. And in the error queue, this is where we handle errors. So for instance, you are not connected to the internet and KenyaEMR attempts to send a message. That message will not go through. It will give you an error and you can be able to view all the errors here. So here we have it's just basically the same table as the other two tabs, but the only column that has been added is the error. So under the error column, we will be able to see the type of errors that are causing these messages not to go. So from this page, we also handle we do our error handling. You'll be under error, you'll see the kind of error that you have. And once you rectify that error, you can be able, we have a checkbox here that will give you that you'll be able to select the message that you have taken care of the error, and you can be able to requeue the message. So once you sort out the error, you requeue the message. Once you requeue the message, it will go back to the outgoing queue. From the outgoing queue, again, it will be able to be sent, and you can view the same information in Ushauri. So at the top here, we have the summary. So basically, this is just the total data in queue and the total errors. So that is how the module works and how just the interface, once you have this in your facility, how it will be working. So I think Ogutu, let me just move straight away to the configuration part. Maybe once I'm done with that, we can see maybe just a few messages, how they are being generated and how they are being populated on the tables or in the outgoing queues and the error queues. And then we can take questions after that. So at the moment that you upgrade this or get this module or get this functionality in your EMR, there are a few configurations that need to be done so that this can work well. So I'm just going to take you through on how to do the configuration to activate this. Then we should be good to go. So the other thing that also you need to know is that for facilities, again, that have never used Ushauri before, before you start using this module, you need to follow the due process of activating it on Ushauri, mapping out the facility in Ushauri, so that when the information is getting from EMR to Ushauri, it can get the facility already in Ushauri. So to do the configuration, we will navigate, once you've added the module into your EMR, we navigate to the developer application. Click on developer. Once you're in the developer application, you will go to legacy admin UI. Again, don't worry so much about the steps. We will be sharing an SOP on this. So once I'm at the legacy admin UI, I will, under maintenance, we have advanced settings. So I'll click on advanced settings and I will get a list of all the advanced settings on EMR. So there is just one setting that we need to do to have this. I'm just going to search for it. It's called, just a minute. It's called, I think it's called health. Yes. So this is the setting. You'll have this on your SOPs. So this is the setting that we need to update. It's called KenyaEMR and health middleware. So we change it from IL because there are two ways that you can use this. So we change it from IL to hybrid. Then you save the changes. So once that is the first setting that you need to do. And as Cosmas had alluded earlier, the information that we are exchanging between KenyaEMR and Ushauri is basically the registration messages and the appointment messages as of now. So we also have some other settings that we need to make sure are okay, so that KenyaEMR can be able to generate the appointment messages and also the registration messages that are being sent to Ushauri. So okay, yeah. So I'll just show you the two settings that you need to change. So again, we just search for task. So the first one we have here, it's called the appointment task class fetch date and time. So as you can see, this is basically telling you the last date and time that the KenyaEMR fetched appointments to try and send. So we have, for mine, you can see it's reading 2022, December 15th at 13:59. So that we can be able to see the messages, I'm just going to change it to 2021 for the appointments, then save. Then I'm going to search for enrollment tasks. So I'm just going to take it back to 2021 so that we can be able to see this. So I've made sure that the appointment tasks are okay, but in your case, once you already do the setup, what that the configuration, the task that we are setting up the date and time, it's to tell you that this is the day that KenyaEMR will start sending appointments to Ushauri. So if you do the setup today, just make sure that for those two tasks configurations, the date and time are today. So we have already done that. We'll move on to the final settings. So again, we need to look at the schedulers. So basically what the schedulers does, let me just go back. Once you're still in the legacy admin UI page, we have a part for the scheduler. So you just click on manage scheduler. So basically what these schedulers do is they, after a periodic or a period of time, they go fetch the specific messages, if it is an appointment or a registration message, fetches the message from the client's profile and sends it to Ushauri or to the interoperability layer. So we need to make sure that our tasks are running well. So we are just interested in this enrollment task and appointment task. And in your facility, you'll get a situation whereby you have different tasks. So it is advisable for the tasks that you are not using. For instance, if you are not using Ushauri, the module, or you are not using the interoperability layer, just make sure the tasks are stopped. Again, this will help you manage the resources of your server, such that every time, if you have all of these tasks running at the same time, you might get into a situation whereby your server is slowing down because they are trying to do some operations that you are not using. So if, for instance, you don't have AFIA start, you do not need to have the AFIA start task running. So in our case, we are interested in these two, enrollment and appointment task. So for these tasks, you need to make sure that the period or the time that you've put, like for mine, you can see is running after every 2 hours. You need to make sure that the time you have put is working well with your facility setup. So what basically this means, runs every 2 hours. The enrollment task or the appointment task will try and send messages, generate messages that are to be sent to Ushauri after every 2 hours. So if we need to see the appointments immediately in Ushauri, we will not be able to see them until after KenyaEMR has done it after every 2 hours. So it's 2 hours, 2 hours. So you need just to make sure that these tasks are configured well and you've put in the correct time working with the setup of your facility. So for the purposes of this showcase, I'm just going to reduce the time so that we can see how the messages are being generated. So change this, I'll just click on the enrollment. Then I'm going to put it to 2 minutes. Save. That is for enrollment. Then for appointments, again, I'm going to put it to 2 minutes and save. So what this will do for the time that the last page, it will go back to the last page date that we had set up. And after every 2 minutes, try and get the enrollments and the appointments and send them to Ushauri. So it usually gives you the time. So I'm remaining with 44 seconds for it to run again. So we can go back to our Ushauri page app and see once the messages are generated, we'll see how they will look like. So basically what we expect is after the 2 minutes have lapsed, we get a list of all the messages that have been generated here under outgoing queue. So give it a few minutes, just confirm if it's running well. It has run. And it's so basically this is how the information will look like once we've been able to get the appointments. So when you've done the appointments, the messages will come to this outgoing queue. So this is just a sample of some dummy data that we can see here. So basically we have the patient identifier, that is the CCC number, the patient name, that's that, and the message type. So this, for instance, is a registration message. And if it was an appointment, we would be having the message type as appointment. And we have the visit stroke appointment date. So for registrations, we have the visit date. And if this message was an appointment, this would be translating to the appointment date. And basically this is just the date created that the message, the record was created on the EMR. So again, it will just give you a list from the first to the last. Then here we'll see the sent messages and anyone that has an error. So for any message that has been successfully sent, it will move to the sent messages tab. And if it was not sent, it had an error, it will move to the error queue. Then you should be able to requeue and get it back to the outgoing queue. I think that's all from me. Back to you, Gutu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leon, for the session. I think now I'll open it up for Q&A. Any comments? Questions from the team? Any additions? I've seen several questions being answered on the chat. You can use the reactions feature on Teams in any case you want to talk, so that you can be given the mic. There are no questions. It seems the presentation was clear and direct. Don't be left out in case you have any questions. Feel free to use the chat, or you can raise your hand for the mic. There are several updates to those who are inquiring some of the messages that we exchanged, and I hope you are able to see the chat for more information on the integrated Ushauri KenyaEMR. Oh, I can see with Simon and Patrick Maloba. Okay, your mic is on. Go ahead.
So once the module sends the TCS to the Ushauri server, what happens to the list of usually at the sites, in some of the sites I support, they have an Ushauri module where they book appointments with. Does it clear them from the list? That was something the team was asking, and we hadn't tried it practically. So does it clear when the client gets the next TCA, does that drop that client from the today's appointments list on the Ushauri app?
Leon, would you want to answer that?
Yes, so thanks for the question. This is Anthony.
Okay.
So we've been piloting for a while, and just today we managed to make that possible, because every appointment actually has a visit date. So when that message gets to Ushauri, it ideally should look for appointment on that day and mark it whether it's honored or not. So that by tomorrow, the update to Ushauri will have that affected, but it's work that is already in our test server.
Thanks, Anthony, for the info. I hope Patrick, you had.
Yes, that's satisfactory. Thanks, Anthony.
Great, thank you. Any question? Any other question? The floor is open. Thanks, Patrick, for that. Matthew Kaburu. Matthew Kaburu is asking if for the clients of PhD, will the two TCAs be sent to Ushauri?
Martin, so I've seen your chat. Currently, we're only sending one TCA. So for the DSD, that is still work in progress, and we'll be able to, of course, update the team once that is taken care of. But for now, we're just sending one TCA. That is a clinical visit from the Green Channel.
Thanks, Cosmos. Any questions? The floor is still open. If there are no questions, any comments, additions from the team, or suggestions are also welcome. You're able to access the chat. There's some more information from Anthony. So there's another hand that is up. That is Solomon Ganaro. Ganaro.
Yeah, thanks, Kennedy, for the moderation and all the presenters. We really appreciate what you've basically taken us through. Maybe in the future, you may want to consider sending more information to Ushauri other than just one TCA, because again, it will be important to catch, for example, if a patient has been given 2 TCAs, which one is going? Is it the longer one, the clinical one, or the drug pickup date? So that when they default, then it will be important for us to be able to catch that. And really beyond that, for me, I think there should be really more information going to the Ushauri server so that we can be able to measure the effort other than just saying whether they kept or did not keep. But can we be able to tell the story about all the events that may have happened for this particular patient from the facility level, now looking at the central Ushauri server, something like that. Yeah, thanks and over.
Thanks, Nenaro, for that. That has been captured and implemented. Steve, I've seen your chat. Reach out to our service desk team for support, saying your error keeps increasing day by day. We'll be able to help you. Robert Rotich is saying, let me ask this because I'm new to this. Sending message to Ushauri will notify the client of appointment date. Yes, appointment reminders are always being sent to clients via Ushauri. It seems the questions have been exhausted. Any more questions? Seems there are no more questions that have been exhausted. So can you confirm if you have any representative from NASCOP to give us any remarks?
Thanks. Could you confirm if you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. So I'm here with Faith Mudare. Unfortunately, Dr. Madiba may not be able to join. I tried reaching out to him because he is in another meeting, so he may not really be able to join us. So I don't know whether I can go ahead and probably make a few remarks, then welcome Faith.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Right. So mine is just to appreciate the team's participation in the virtual, the mini series that we've had. Apologies, I wasn't able to join the team in the last two virtual trainings that we had because of other engagements. I know all of us are aware that currently through NASCOP, we are undertaking a national exercise, which is called DQA, and all of us, I know we are participating, but I'm glad that we were able to find time to be able to join this very, very important call so that we are able to be updated on issues around data exchange between Ushauri and the KenyaEMR platform. And basically, I'm very certain that some of the questions or some of the challenges that we've had previously in as far as data exchange is concerned between the two have been responded to, and I'm happy that the team were able to really focus on the very specific areas in as far as data exchange is concerned. So that process has been made very simple, and the data exchange is seamlessly very easy for us to be able to undertake. So I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the work that is done by our colleagues at Palladium to be able to respond to the needs of the users within the facilities across the country. So I really don't have much to say. If probably we don't virtually or physically meet again, let me take this opportunity to wish each and every one of us Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So having said that, kindly allow me to welcome Faith Mudare to also make her remarks on behalf of the NASCOP team and probably close the meeting for us. Faith, if you can hear me, you can unmute and go ahead.
Thank you, Franklin. Confirm you can hear me. Can you hear
yes,
me?
Faith,
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, so good afternoon, team, and happy to be here again. Apologies once more. I joined in late, I think when the presentation had already been done, but I think I really appreciate the innovation and the idea behind all what we are doing. Thank you to our HIS partner, Palladium, for making sure that we move from using platforms or apps just for messaging and appointment keeping, take them further for patient management. And that's also the reason why we need to think about how to integrate this with our EMR so that we can have longitudinal information about our clients who are probably having existing data on the Ushauri platform. I missed the presentation. I joined in when you were about to end, but however, I think I have a background of what was going on and I appreciate everything. And so on behalf of my colleagues at NASCOP, especially the leadership, all the way from our lead, Dr. Rose Wafula, and our SI lead, Dr. Amadiva, I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for sparing your times on Tuesdays and Thursdays for us to have a catch up on the progress that we're making in HIS. And I want to really confess, above all, I think I appreciate the very good feedback that you have given us on the products that you have been able to come up with. And as I say always, I think do not hesitate from telling us that you have given us this, but it's not responding to our needs, because there is no need of us pushing you to use a product that is not going to meet your needs as a user at the facility level, especially to enable or make work easier in terms of giving patients the services that they deserve. So above all, I take this opportunity to thank you for the feedback on the gaps that we have experienced, on the good areas that we have experienced, and what we can be able to do better to make the application and also the systems more reliable for use. So thank you very much, everybody. And I think I will also say, want to wish all of you a very, very, very blessed, happy and Merry Christmas. And also looking forward to 2023. And I wish that everyone has a vision for 2023 in their life and also in their profession or the work area that they are doing at the moment. So let's all be positive, and I'm certain that 2023 will be a better year for all of us. So let's keep the faith, let's keep the teamwork, and let's continue uniting together to make this space for HIV strategic information much better. Otherwise, thank you very much to our gurus in the HIS sector. We really appreciate the efforts and the work, and we look forward to making things better in the new year. So Merry Christmas, everybody, and a happy 2023. Thank you, and back to the chair. I don't know whether Ogutu, you are the chair?
Yes, I was the chair today.
Okay, so back to you. So probably after the person prays, we can all unmute our mics and wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So once the prayer is done, unmute everyone's mic for us to wish each other a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you so much for that. No addition or deletion. On this note, as we finalize on this year's sessions of virtual training, I would like to take this opportunity to have Emily close for us with a word of prayer before we wish all of us Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Emily? Emily Bosidori.
If you have no one to pray, I can pray.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let's all believe and pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, once again, with our hearts full of joy and thanksgiving, we give you all the glory for the far that you have brought us in the year 2022. Thank you for gifting us with a good life that you have accorded each one of us in this session, and even for those that are our team members and are not here. We want to exalt your holy name because you have been so faithful, you have been so kind, We have experienced your unconditional love, and we do not take it for granted to be able to convene today to end our sessions and also be able to give you thanks for the work that we have been able to do. And now, as we continue with our break and go into the festive season, how I pray that you may continue watching over each one of us, Jehovah King of all glory. And when we shall meet again in the new year, all glory and honor shall be unto thy name. I pray that you bless each and every family that is represented here, and even for the plans that are ahead to go and enjoy our Christmas, King of all glory. May you take charge. May you give us journey masses to the various destinations that we shall be going to. And may you give us a time also to reason and think about the birth of Christ in our lives. We thank you for each and every one, and for what we have done that is not pleasing to thee, Jehovah, King of all glory. How we pray that you may pardon us so that we may be able to receive your blessings in return. We thank you and we worship you, and we say that you're faithful and you're God in our lives forever, and we trust and keep your faith in you. And this is our humble prayer of faith in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.